Welcome to the Daily Vibecasting. Today, we're diving right in deep into what's really buzzing on X, like right now.
Right.
Fast takes, trending topics, you know the drill.
Yeah.
So let's kick off with sleep, or maybe the lack of it.
Yeah.
At another Cohen, Alex Cohen, he shared his sleep score. It's consistently 58%. Ouch.
Yeah, 58%. That's not hitting the recommended targets, is it?
Not even close. And he
Yeah.
breaks it down. Kids' bedtime, 7:03 p.m. Okay, standard.
Right.
But then his bedtime after work cleaning, it's anywhere from 11 p.m. to midnight.
The classic parent squeeze. Work, chores, then finally some me time, or maybe just collapsing.
Exactly. And then the kids wake up.
Multiple times.
Oh, yeah. The nightly interruptions, brutal.
Followed by a lovely 5.45 or 6:30 a.m. wake-up call from those same kids.
So, yeah, that 58% starts to make a lot of sense. It really highlights that whole caregiving stress thing, that study mentioned.
Right, the Journal of Pediatric Psychology, the one, and
Yeah.
it connects. And he also mentioned caffeine and ADHD affecting his sleep, too, so it's complicated. It is. It really shows how these, perfect sleep scores we aim for, well, life gets in the way. Biology, too. It's not just about following simple tips sometimes.
Totally. Okay, shifting gears completely. Robots in surgery.
Oh, yeah. What's the buzz there?
Well, Elon Musk made a pretty bold claim. He thinks robots will outperform human surgeons, within years.
Wow. Okay. That's ambitious. But is there anything backing that up right now?
Funny you should ask. The context pointed out that at Neuralink already uses a robot. They actually had to use one for inserting those brain-computer electrodes.
Because of the precision needed, right? And the speed, things humans just can't quite manage at that scale.
Exactly. So it's already happening in specific cases, and there's talk maybe about lower medical costs eventually,
Yeah.
and tracking robot use like Medtronic is doing.
Yeah, the potential is there for certain tasks. Repetitive, high-precision stuff. Robots are great. But surgery is often more than that, isn't it? Adapting, decision-making.
The human touch.
Kind of, yeah. But still, Muff's comment definitely pushes the conversation forward about AI and robotics in medicine. It's happening fast.
Definitely now. Speaking of fast, SpaceX.
Mhm.
Andy Mazenia posted this photo. It's just,
Yeah.
wow, multiple Starship rockets all lined up.
Oh, I think I saw that. Looks like Starbase in Texas, right? Their whole Mars mission hub.
Yeah, exactly. His comment was just, can't believe this photo is real, and you look at it and you kind of get it.
It's pretty sci-fi looking, and the photographer, Jenna Hammer, usually does wildlife stuff. Adds an interesting perspective.
It does. It just screams progress,
Mhm.
Like how Falcon 9 landings seemed impossible and now they're routine. This feels like the next step.
Absolutely. That visual is powerful. Makes the future feel very tangible.
Okay, from tangible rockets to AI anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
At Regzits shared this funny comic.
Oh, yeah. What's the joke?
It's about, being polite to large language models,
Mm.
saying thank you to ChatGPT.
Just in case, right, for when they take over.
Basically.
Uh,
It's funny, but there's that little bit of underlying uh-oh
yeah.
about where AI is heading.
For sure. That anxiety is real, especially since ChatGPT really blew up. It's a playful way to poke at, potential future power dynamics.
And the funny thing is, apparently Sam Altman actually said those thank yous cost OpenAI money because of the processing power.
Seriously. That just shows the insane scale these things operate on. Even politeness has a compute cost. Wild.
Right. Okay, let's move to something heavier. A documentary recommendation from @Rashlove31.
Okay, what is it?
It's Louis Theroux's The Settlers. She's really praising it, especially his interview style.
Theroux. He has that way of letting people just talk, right? And sometimes reveal quite a bit.
Exactly. She says he lets people tell on themselves. It focuses on Israeli settlers in the West Bank
Mm-hmm.
and their interactions with Palestinians.
Right. Documentaries like that can be really important for showing complex situations from different angles, especially sensitive geopolitical stuff. It aired pretty recently, too, right?
Yeah, BBC Two and iPlayer, April 27th. So very current.
Timely.
Okay, shifting topics again. Tariffs. Anyone getting hit by those?
Seems like it's becoming a thing again. What's the story?
At Social Power 11 posted about someone they called Karen buying a dress from Temu. $19 dress.
Okay, cheap dress. What's the catch?
The catch was an extra $31.44 in import tariffs.
Wow. More than the dress itself? That's steep.
Right. And it connects to those potential 2025 tariff policies we hear about, like that 10% baseline. Suddenly, it's not abstract policy. It's real money out of your pocket.
Exactly. And it nails that misconception, doesn't it? The idea that, China pays the tariffs.
Yeah.
No,
right.
analysis usually shows it's the importers and often ultimately the consumers who bear the cost, like the Penn Wharton budget model showed.
So more potential costs. Speaking of costs,
Yeah.
crypto heists.
Whoa, Miss Drama. What happened?
At ZachXBeat, the crypto sleuth flagged a huge Bitcoin transfer, $330.7 million, marked as suspicious.
Whoa, okay, that's a lot of Bitcoin. Where did it go?
That's the interesting part. It got laundered, basically, moved quickly through different exchanges, then converted into
Yeah.
Monero.xmr.
Ugh, Monero. The privacy coin. Makes sense if you're trying to cover your tracks. Did it affect the price?
Yep, XMR price spiked because of the sudden demand.
Classic move for illicit funds, though important to note, most crypto use isn't illicit, but Monero's privacy features definitely attract that element.
Definitely. And back to Temu and those tariffs. Another one at the main wonk
Yeah.
posted about it.
More tariff pain.
Yeah, they got hit with an $89 charge on a $64 Temu order.
Ouch. Again, more than the goods cost.
And their comment was just, "It has begun." Kind of ominous.
It really brings home the immediate financial hit. But there's that other layer with Temu too, right? The ethical concerns?
Yeah, the context mentioned that. Concerns about exploited labor in their supply chain. BBC reported on it, I think. So it's cost and ethics.
Right, adds another dimension to just clicking buy on cheap stuff.
Okay, now for some breaking and honestly pretty worrying news. At General MC News is reporting massive blackouts across Europe.
Massive. Like where?
Spain, Portugal, France, Belgium. Widespread disruptions. Electricity, internet, mobile services, all down in large areas.
Whoa, multiple countries at once. That's significant. That
Yeah.
points to a potentially huge issue with the grid. Very concerning.
Yeah, and people are reacting online, obviously. At Eva Vlar tweeted asking, what in the fresh hell is going on? Cyber attack.
That's the immediate thought, isn't it? When something that big and coordinated happens to critical infrastructure, that feeling of vulnerability.
Totally. Makes you realize how reliant we are. But are there any updates on the cause?
Well, we are getting some info.
Okay.
At Reelectric RD, that's Spain's grid operator, they put out an update.
Good news, bad news. They say voltage has been restored in some places, north, south, west of Spain. So, progress.
Okay, that's positive. Shows we're working on it, trying to stabilize things. Restoring voltage is a key first step.
Definitely. Hopefully full power comes back soon. Okay, let's pivot completely. Hollywood buzz.
Nice change of pace. What's trending?
Tom Cruise is raving about a movie called Sinners.
Tom Cruise recommending something. That gets attention. What's it about?
It's Ryan Coogler directing. Michael B. Jordan starring. Apparently he plays twins in the Jim Crow South, and there are undead elements.
Okay, that sounds intense. Kugler and Jordan back together, plus supernatural stuff in that setting. Intriguing.
Yeah. And Cruise is like, see it in a cinema. Stay for the end credits. Very enthusiastic.
High praise indeed. Might be one to check out.
Okay, now for something a bit more personal.
Yeah.
Relationship dynamics.
All right.
Chris Olvino chimed in on one of those viral polls, about men's preferred body types.
Oh, those polls. Okay, what was his take?
Well, he shared his own experience. He described himself as a fat brown dude and said he's dated lots of models and athletes.
Interesting. And what did he find?
He said a common thing he heard from these women was that the super gym-focused guys could often be judgmental, maybe a bit boring.
Really? Boring.
Yeah. And that what these women often valued more was feeling safe, accepted,
Yeah.
not judged.
Huh. That's a really valuable perspective. It pushes back against those narrow beauty standards and highlights, like emotional connection and safety being key. Attraction is complex, right?
Definitely more than just abs. Okay, back to the future. Surgery again.
More robots.
Yep. At CB Doge shared this image. It's Optimus bots, the Tesla ones, doing surgery in 2035. No humans in sight.
Oh, that's a very stark visual. Really leans into Musk's whole vision.
It does. Feels a bit sci-fi, maybe a bit unnerving. The replies were mixed, apparently. Some saying sooner, others saying we'll always need humans.
Yeah, it sparks that debate again. Fully autonomous surgery. It's a big conceptual leap, even if the tech progresses. What's the human role long term?
Big question. Quick sports detour. At Magic Johnson. Not happy.
Uh-oh, what about
Lakers? They lost a game they were leading. He was just expressing frustration.
Classic Magic. Passionate about his team. Probably echoed a lot of fan sentiment, I bet, especially if they lost a lead late.
Yeah. Context mentioned some criticism of LeBron's fourth quarter, usual high-stakes analysis.
Always under the microscope.
Okay, circling back one last time to that Europe blackout, we might have a cause.
Oh, yeah. Did they figure it out? Cyber attack.
Grid failure.
Well, At Discloset TV is reporting that Portugal's grid operator, RN, is blaming a rare atmospheric phenomenon.
A rare
Yeah.
atmospheric phenomenon. That sounds vague.
Right. It does feel a bit like a placeholder. People are apparently skeptical given past outages were usually grid issues.
Understandably so. Atmospheric phenomenon could mean a lot of things, or maybe not much at all. It invites questions, doesn't it? We'll probably hear more.
Probably. Okay, let's end on something a bit lighter. The gorilla debate.
Oh, God, not the man versus gorilla thing again?
Yeah. But Appaloosiaga had a funny take. Just posted an illustration.
What did it show?
A single gorilla, surrounded by a huge crowd of people. The caption implied, yeah, gorilla is strong, but 100 is actually a lot of dudes.
Uh-huh. Okay, that's a fair point. A visual reality check. Even a silverback might pause when faced with a mob of 100. It's just such a ridiculous hypothetical. Totally ridiculous. And that, folks, is a wrap on today's whirlwind tour of X. Seriously. From sleep scores to robot surgeons, surprise tariffs, a massive European blackout. A lot happened.
It really did. A snapshot of anxieties, technological leaps, and unexpected events.
So what stuck with you? What are you still mulling over? Keep digging into these topics online. The conversation's always evolving.
Yeah, definitely more layers to uncover.
And maybe think about this. As everything gets more connected, more complex, how ready are we, really, for those big disruptions, whether they're, atmospheric phenomena or something else entirely, something to chew on?